Today, I'm interviewing Cassiy Johnson, who in 2020 went from stressed out and unemployed to a top 1% Etsy seller who was able to revenue over $100,000 selling Etsy print on demand. It has since went on to revenue over $700,000 selling on Etsy with print on demand. Today, she's going to be sharing with us some of the strategies that she has personally used to help grow and scale her Etsy business. And make sure you stay until the end because she's going to be sharing 2 hot niches that you can be listing in right now to make more sales. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Angel. I am a wife and mama of 2 amazing kiddos, a full-time Etsy seller, now Etsy print on demand coach, here to give you all the tips and tricks to help you to be successful on your own Etsy print on demand journey. Make sure to check out below. I have a free Etsy print on demand starter guide, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. All right, welcome to my channel, Cassiy. I'm so excited to have you here today. Would you mind going ahead and telling us a little bit about your story?
Yes. Hello, Angel. Thank you for having me. So my name is Cassiy Johnson. I started selling on Etsy in 2020 after my husband and I both lost our jobs during the pandemic. So we both found ourselves at home for 4 months with our teenager and our puppies with nothing to do. And so I started looking for ways to make money online. And I thought of trying a million different types of things, but it wasn't until I found the Etsy and print on demand model that I was like, this is it. This is perfect, because making your own items at home takes so much time, and having to ship them seemed really intimidating. And so I got started with my Etsy and print on demand business literally the next day after finding that YouTube video. And now I've been able to scale my business since May of 2020 to now to over $700,000 I've now sold on Etsy. And this is my full-time job, which has just been super, super exciting.
That is such an amazing story. And I love how you said you found out about print on demand and you got started literally the next day. That would be like my best advice to anyone is if you're just finding out about print on demand, or you've been on the fence about it, about opening your Etsy shop, just get started tomorrow, or today. Because I think some people think about it and then they never actually do it. And then you never know how successful you could be. And in the beginning, it's okay if you fail. It's okay if it's hard. You can be successful too if you just get started. So thank you for that. Also, Cassiy on her channel, she has an entire guide. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I do have a whole free mini course that teaches you how to get started. So if you don't know what you're doing, it walks you through signing up for Etsy, signing up for Printify, connecting your accounts, and listing your first item for sale. And you can get that done in literally 2 or 3 hours total. And so don't let it be intimidating and hold you back. I'll give that link to Angel if she wants to share it. And you could get started literally today and just get moving, because it's easy to overthink things and feel like you need to learn everything before you get started. But there's just too much to learn. So if you just get started and start learning a little bit every day, take those baby steps forward every single day, eventually you'll get there.
How long did it take for your store to really kind of take off?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I started in about May of 2020, and my store actually got suspended when I first opened it. So just a heads up, if you open your Etsy shop, it might get suspended the first week on accident. Just email Etsy, they'll open it again for you. And while my shop was closed, I made about 50 designs. And so when I first opened it, I uploaded all of those within the first few days. And I started getting sales just really quickly because of one design I made for Father's Day, because it was about 6 weeks, I think, before Father's Day at that point. And so that was my first design that kind of took off. I sold it like 40 times my first month, but that was the only one. The other designs I don't think sold almost at all. And so I got really lucky with just accidentally posting for a holiday that was coming up. I don't even know if I made it thinking about it for Father's Day. And then it kind of was a slow grind after that to start getting more sales. And then I actually went back to work after being off for 4 months in August. I started my new job, like literally, I think August 1st or August 2nd. And then in August, I actually made $4,000 in profit for the first time as I was working a full-time job. I was like, why did I go get a job? This is crazy. And that's when I really knew. Like before that, I was like, I just want to make a little extra side income. But the second I made more money in a month than my full-time job, I was like, oh, this is it. I'm going to spend all of my time doing this. And I think that was my 4th month. So I think that's just a good thing to know. If you really put your all in, it can take a couple months to start really reaping the benefits of what you're doing. It feels a little slow at first, but trust me, the compound interest of your work really starts to pay off.
Absolutely. It's important to know the first few months, it really is just about gaining the skills, learning how to create a listing, learning how to connect it to Printify, and then learning how to create things that people actually want to buy. And all of that can be learned by actually doing it. So the more you list, the more you learn, and the better you get at it. So thanks for adding that. I think that's really great advice. Now, what would you recommend for someone who is starting to get some sales, but they're not consistent sales? Like, what would you recommend to those people?
Absolutely. I was in that place for a long time because I was just kind of throwing random things against the wall and seeing what works. But I think what really made the difference for me is starting to double down on what's working. So, like, for instance, I had my first bestseller in the fall of 2020, and it was a like funny Halloween sweatshirt. And I was so excited that I had a bestseller until I saw someone else with a really similar design, and they had 4 or 5 bestsellers with that design. They'd added it to multiple colors, they had added it to multiple items, they had done different versions of it, and they had gotten so many more sales because of it. And I'll never forget that lesson. And so now when I start doing really well in, say, a niche, I will start to add more colors, make different versions of it, and really kind of attack that niche, because I know that that's really in high demand right now, that that's what people are looking for right now. And that if I already have people coming into one listing, they might come to my store and look at those other items and buy multiple all at once instead of just one. And so really just doubling down on what's working has been kind of like a foundational part of what's built me my successful print-on-demand business.
Oh, that is really valuable advice. I hope that you are all at home taking notes, because this is gold. Any other last minute tips for sellers out there who are just getting started, who are inspiring to have 6-figure Etsy shops?
Absolutely. So I think my first year selling print on demand, I sold about 130K in revenue, which was amazing. It was super good. I did really well, but I was selling mostly just individual items. It wasn't until 2021 where I switched my actual business model to doing mostly group items. So bachelorette shirts, matching couple shirts, best friend shirts, like group funny shirts, or, group family shirts. That's when I really started to see my numbers take off, because even with the same amount of traffic that you had before, you can make 4 times as much because every customer is coming in and buying multiple items instead of just one. And I know that may sound intimidating right in the beginning, but trust me, it's a lot simpler than you might think. And not everybody's willing to do that. And so if you can find a niche that no one's doing group or matching or couple shirts in, that can be a really cool way to add value to the search result by doing something different than everybody else is doing and kind of suggesting that they buy multiple items from you. And in 2021, I sold about 350K in revenue because of exactly what I just said. So that would definitely be my biggest scaling tip. If you're like doing decent, but you want to take it to the next level, I would absolutely start doing more group listings in your store. And trust me, it will pay off.
And Cassiy actually on her channel has an entire tutorial where she walks you through how to do group shirts. That's something that I would love to add to my channel in the future. But yeah, check that out if you're not sure how to do group listings.
Yes, thanks for the shout out, Angel.
And then it is February 1st at the time of this recording. Any tip or suggestion for what someone could be listing right now to help to try and get sales on Etsy?
Absolutely. So I think, right now in February, if you're watching this while we're recording it, I'd be designing right now for things like St. Patrick's Day and Mardi Gras, especially if you're new. These are niches that are going to see a high spike in search volume that can help kind of just your store to take off. Getting into evergreen niches like moms, dads, dog shirts, funny shirts are great. And you want to have a good base of those types of shirts that could sell at any point throughout the year, but they always take a little bit longer to take off since there's not just a ton of demand right this second for them. So you want to kind of do a little bit of both. Build a solid foundation of evergreen niches that could sell anytime. Like I said, moms, dads, pets, jobs, that type of stuff. But then I'd also make sure that you're spending some of your time focusing on those holidays that are coming up. So again, St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras are some of the closest ones I can think of, because when you get that high spike of sales and you can get 10, 20, 30 sales all in a little short period of time, that can just help to skyrocket your store and get you a bunch of sales and reviews. So then when people come to buy your other items in the future, you look a lot more trustworthy and like you've built up your business a little bit more, like more of that social proof. And so I'd make sure to be doing a good mixture of those two types of niches, if that makes sense.
Thank you. That was really valuable. If you enjoyed this interview, be sure to check out Cassiy Johnson's YouTube channel, all about Etsy print on demand. You can find the link to her channel below.